Right, so what are the levers? And they are typically now covered in these life cycle essentials of ours that can help a sponsor and program director or even leadership own a team then on a program to lead effectively. And the first one is alignment, helping the teams to align. Now this is a model that we've adapted from Griffith and Gibson. They actually used this alignment model with engineering contracts. Now you can see at the bottom, if we start at the top, you've got the program life cycle. So you've got the various those blades which we spoke about, shaping, planning, etc. Then you've got organizational levels, starting with your full authority at the top and moving down to your contractors. Contractors are really critical because they become an extension of your project. I mean, you cannot do your project without them. So critical stakeholder. And then inter-project, because you now have these multiple projects. So when you plan alignment, you need to continuously think about how do I transfer the message going through here. So if something changes here in the planning process, a new project is introduced as an add-on. How do I align from top to bottom? And how do I align between the various projects? Alright, so continuously you need to constantly have this picture in your mind and use it in your planning of alignment initiatives and communication initiatives and stakeholder engagement initiatives. Right, this is a very powerful tool. So let's look at shaping. In the shaping process, it's very critical to align your different decision makers. So you can see here your approval authority, your sponsor, your business management, and the top level of your program management team. That owner team, which sits at the top, which we showed you guys, they need to be all aligned in terms of where this thing is going and where changes happens, because remember, alignment's not once off. So alignment is a continuous process. They need to know what's going on, be clear on what those changes are, what the impacts are on various projects, and so forth. So what are the mechanisms that we use during shaping to get this alignment going? And I think the first one is the framing meeting. And you can see I said /process, because even on a project, framing is really a meeting. It's a process. I mean, you identify what you need as input and what the decision makers and direction setters need to agree on, and you start lobbying people, start engaging key stakeholders that have decision-making authority on your program, or those that you would hugely impact or affect through your program. Start engaging them, giving alignment. And in our next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about the detail that goes into that. Typically, the outcome of what you agree in your framing goes into your charter. And that becomes your guidebook for the program. Let me hold this thought and I'll share it with you a little bit later. And I think after you've now done the framing, so everybody knows where they are going, now it's important to align the rest. So if you go back to these levels, now you align everybody down there across the life cycle stages. All right. So this talks to typically both what you discuss in your framing as well as what then ends up going into your charter. And the first one is a common understanding of where you are now in your business and where you're going. Are most programs happening in existing businesses, or are they typically new businesses, completely greenfields? What's your view? In your experience, those ones where you operate in, are those programs in existing businesses? Yeah? Existing. Both? Both. Okay. Mostly? Where does it? Existing. Okay. Mostly is existing. So what happens then is you've got an existing business, like Fred mentioned, with the existing baseline, which you then need to understand what's that baseline. The biggest challenge you have is that often we don't measure that baseline, we don't know what it is, we go and implement the program, get to the end, and then we can't measure if we achieve what we wanted to. Because of these cyclical changes like Fred explained, because something happens in that operation, either another project which positively influences it, or something that goes terribly wrong that reduces your baseline. So critical to understand that link across. Your business objectives needs to be very clear. Your program scope, including the boundary conditions. Now those boundary conditions I cannot overemphasize. Because you're in this bigger business with multiple views being affected by a program, if you don't define those boundaries well, guys, you know what will happen. There'll be add-ons and add-ons. Oh, why don't you just add this to your program? Can't we just add this little project? Oh, this one is really small, it's not going to affect your cost of schedule. No. What you do is you make very certain that whatever project gets introduced into your program speaks to that business objective. Right, be very clear about that. Then your risk and opportunities, your exit indicators, impacts on key business units, key stakeholders, and especially in the South Africa context, how does your program affect any communities involved in your local environment, perhaps as Yuri said, either through environmental issues or maybe job creation. Legislative requirements, principles that govern the program. Yuri spent quite a bit of time on that in his presentation. And then a high-level roadmap with associated resources and budget. Now in our view, and I want to compare project and program. These looks very familiar in terms of project charter, right? Okay, typical elements of project charter. What we do, however, recommend you do differently on a program is you will have a business objective section of your charter, which includes all of these elements. But then you'll have a project or program execution section. And that section sets the guidelines for how you're going to execute. So we don't develop a PEP, project execution plan, for a program at program level. But it's critical to have that execution approach in place. That you know how you plan to execute this. Is sequence important? Are you going to do it yourself? Fiat used all those various examples in terms of how you're going to combine owner personnel versus contractor personnel. So those things you need to consider up front and say, well, this is going to be our approach. And then everybody in that program can develop their project execution plans speaking to that approach. Okay. All right, so alignment challenges during shaping, very interesting. During shaping especially, programs are just incredibly affected by challenges. Because a program you don't shape as quickly as a project. Because you've got so many variables, so many businesses to consider, you need to carefully think how the various projects roll up to this program. So each business, and I mentioned this before, typically come into this with their own drivers. And that makes alignment very difficult. And the only way you can get over this is getting a very good sponsor who knows these people, knows the environment. Now I go back to Fred's point, sponsor cannot be a contractor. And I'm supporting that the program director should also not be. Why not? If you put a contractor in there, they will not consider what the drivers are of your views. Give me a scope and I'll execute it. That's what I do. Okay? So having the right people in that job, you make sure that the owner's interest is protected. And that's what you want to achieve. Otherwise, you can end up with a program that's not going to do what you need for the business and what's best for the business. All right, availability of senior management and key stakeholders. Oh, one of you ladies spoke to me over the break about the challenge of dealing with stakeholders on a program and really just getting them to participate. I mean, so you've got two challenges. One is typically the stakeholder planning is maybe not done that well and stakeholders are not identified that well. But the second challenge is getting them on board, getting them to want to participate. And we're going to talk about that a little bit under the section on stakeholder management. You also have new team members joining the team. Program, 8 years, I mean, inevitably, you're going to have changes in resources. Not just because of turnover, but because through the different cycles or the project life cycle, you introduce new functions, new disciplines. So getting those people on board, very critical that they know where you're going to and why you're going there. And then changing requirements. I think we've discussed that quite a bit, so I'm not going to elaborate more on that. Okay, so second element of alignment is your kickoff meeting. You've now done your framing. All the decision makers are aligned, they know where you're going with this program. Now you get to the point of it's written up in your charter, but now you need to take that charter down to project level and start planning the detail of your program, the detail of your respective projects. And that's where your kick-off meetings comes in. And kick-off meetings typically have two main objectives. The first one is to ensure focused effort from all parties by ensuring that they understand what is behind the charter. Okay? They understand why you're doing the program. Because, guys, if people know why they're doing something, they will inevitably do the right things at the right time without you giving them too much guidance. You're empowering them by giving them clear guidance as to where you want to go with this program. And remember I mentioned earlier the two elements, the charter and the execution approach. So you make sure that those guys understand both. And then, second very important objective is to clarify roles. On a program, you cannot afford to not have clarity on roles. People need to get on with the job and do what they have to. There shouldn't be role conflict, and there should also not be roles that's not assigned. Going back to Freek's list of competencies that you require in your own team, take that list, make sure they're in your own team, and if it's not there and it's a critical skill that you need, guys, make sure you've got resources addressing those competencies. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. Okay, so in your kickoff meeting, you can clearly see that your focus is in the planning and organizing cycles. All right, it's really from your sponsor down to your contractors, and then also between all your projects. So you continuously go back to this picture and see how it impacts it. This is a useful planning tool. Right, I want to quickly talk about roles and responsibilities. You guys all know the RACI or RASCI. They all have different models. Who of you know LACI? I don't see a lot of nods. Slightly different. What is the difference? You still have the A, which is approved. I think the old one is accountable. I like that because accountable person doesn't do anything, but they take accountability and they sign that they're taking accountability. C, we've got consult. The old R, which is responsibility, is task. Okay, so you can have many people tasked to do many things. We've got inform, which you guys know. The one that is new in this model is the L. That's the lead. Only one person can lead a task. The moment two people are leading a task, what happens? Oh. Either nobody does it or both do it. Now, too many cooks in the kitchen. So very important, I think. I personally don't like the RACI model. It's never worked for me because of this reason. Introducing the L, where you've got a single leader, somebody that takes responsibility for executing that task. So it's not that approved guy, it's not the accountable guy, it's somebody who does the work, but he leads it. And he then appoints a couple of people to assist him in executing that task. Right, so a few last words on alignment before we move on to the other topics. Am I on time? Okay. The alignment process cannot be a single event. Throughout your program, it should be part of your program planning, and these alignment interventions you should actually just include in your program roadmap. Make it part of the deliverables so that you don't lose sight of it. Specific in, I've said it already, it should be planned carefully to firm up the intent throughout the phases of the program. Alignment planning should also integrate with your overall program roadmap, as I said just now. Make sure those deliverables are in there. It should be diligently managed on a continuous basis. Alignment doesn't happen by itself. Okay? Even if it means you have to appoint people to do alignment, to facilitate alignment, to check alignment. You all have seen, for instance, the CRI thermometer, alignment thermometer. There are tools out there, guys, which you can go and check all the alignment. And if there's not, it shows you where's the gaps. And you can go and focus on the gaps. Use those tools and appoint somebody to do it. Make it part of the job.